What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls Pregame, presented by Circus Sportsbook. Download the Circus Sports Illinois app at circusports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. My guys, Big Dave Bow. BAWL Sports. Will the GOAT Gottlieb. Will_Gottlieb. Our pal and producer Joey Spathis on the controls.
Joey around
Son of George. We are CHGO_Bulls. Bulls down in Dallas tonight, taking on Luka and the undefeated Dallas Mavericks. Lots to get to. Previewing this matchup against a very, very good-looking Dallas squad so far. Without Kyrie Irving, downgraded to out tonight, dealing with that left foot sprain. Before we get into tonight's previewing, a couple of house cleaning items that we wanted to get to. First and foremost, in case you didn't see the news today, ALLCITY is going national. Very excited about that. Today rolled out the ALLCITY national NHL, NFL, and NBA shows. And yes, the National Baseball Show will be arriving in the first quarter of 2024. Yeah. But for all of you NBA junkies out there who can't get enough, today was the first episode of the ALLCITY Network's All NBA podcast, hosted by our guy Adam Mares of DNVR Nuggets.
Look at him.
And the one and only Tim Legler.
Legs!
A member of the Matty Legend sort of fraternity of the NBA, Big Dave.
How so?
The greatest three-point shooters of all time.
Not in the world, though. But yeah, we'll go with that.
I mean, I don't know about y'all. I love Tim Legler and the NBA analysis he does. They are going to be doing 4 episodes a week, breaking down the NBA at large, looking at game breakdowns, player breakdowns, team by team, in-depth analysis. Yes. Their first show was today. I tuned in. It was great. So if on top of your insane Bulls fandom, you also want more and more NBA content all the time, be on the lookout for those regularly dropping episodes of our guy Mares and Tim Legler doing the All NBA show.
I will be calling it the All Ball podcast. You like that one?
Not bad, Joe. Joe, I'm putting you on the spot.
You like that one?
I said I was all right, Joe. Not bad. I said not bad. Do you know who Tim Legler played for?
He played for Washington.
Very good.
Come on. You know who I was checking in about that with today?
My man, who's this?
George. So what do you know about? What do you know about legs? But yes, I know.
The other cool thing about that is we got to see the multi-talented other talents of our guy Big Dave here, because there was a little teaser video that rolled out with the announcement of ALLCITY's national network of shows. Big Dave on the track.
I like that. I just like the fact you can say that.
I can.
Big Dave on the track.
Big Dave on the track, y'all. Oh, my goodness.
So cool.
Incredible.
Incredibly
incredible.
Cool.
Forgot this was my mind.
Other fun announcement. You may have seen it on our CHGO Bulls Twitter account the other day. Our first CHGO Bulls takeover of the United Center has been put in pen in the calendar. Ow! November 17th against the Orlando Magic. Wendell Carter, our old pal. We will be there in Section 301. We bought up a bunch of tickets at a group rate and are offering y'all to come hang out with us. Please come hang out with us.
Please.
And here's the other cool thing. It's an in-season tournament game.
Yes, it is.
So we're going to get the full effect. We're going to get to see the C-Red Court together.
Yeah.
We're going to get the C-Red Court experience.
Yes.
So you can go to the events page at allchgo.com. Maybe Joey can throw it in the YouTube comments so you can find it easily there. But basically, you know the deal. We will pregame at a bar beforehand, bar to be determined, probably somewhere here in our neighborhood, West Loop, right down the street from the United Center. Head to the UC, hang out there for a while before tip-off, and then go cheer on our beloved Bulls together. Going to be a great time. And for all of you diehards out there, CHGO diehards, discounted ticket prices on the CHGO Bulls Takeover.
I do have some breaking news for you on the Takeover. Some news that I found out a few days ago.
Which is?
And I'm going to tell all of you right now. You know who else will be in town?
Who's going to be in town?
Our guy, Easy from Paris, will be in town.
No way.
Let's
He
go!
will be in Chicago.
Dude.
November 12th.
Is he here for this? Or is he
November 12th for the week. Just him coming to all the Bulls games. And I told him, dude, we're having the Takeover on that Thursday, man. So we will definitely see you. Want you to come on the show as well.
I was going to say, we got to
All
get
that
Easy
stuff.
in studio for post-game that night.
He's down. He's down for all of it, but he's coming from
guy.
Paris.
What a
Show him some
legend.
love when y'all see that man out there, man. He's
was meant to be.
I can't tell you how excited this man
Dude,
is. How big
that's
of a
so
Bulls
exciting.
fan. He is. Seriously, amazing timing, dog.
So exciting.
I asked him once when we were driving back from Paris. When we were driving in Paris.
Driving back from Paris.
We were driving
That's a
back
long drive.
Across the Atlantic.
from the bowling one. We were driving back
Oh,
from
yeah.
there. And I'm asking him, man, he kept saying, I want to move to Chicago. My job lets me move there. I was like, what are the reasons why you want to move to Chicago? He said, 1, the United Center. 2, the Chicago Bulls. That was it. Those are his reasons for going to Chicago. That man is a fan. He can't wait. I'm very excited for him.
It's a short list, but a good enough list.
Yeah, man.
Those are 2 good reasons right there.
I'm very excited for him. It's going to be like when Mark K was here.
Yeah.
You know, seeing that team. Or when our guy Jim was here.
Shout out to our guy Jimmy as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, I mean, so much of the stuff that we did logistically on that amazing Paris trip last season.
Yes.
Easy was our point person.
Yes, he was.
Getting us in touch with the right people, helping us navigate that trip. We appreciate him for it. So
Couldn't have
exciting.
done without him.
We
He
can
made it
show him
very
the Chicago
easy for us.
hospitality.
Thank you.
It's my guy. It's my guy.
All right, guys. Also, before we dive into Bulls Mavs tonight, the other news that broke late night Woj after our Monday night game. Finally, we get resolution for now in the James Harden saga. He has been traded to the Clippers, has not yet requested a trade away from the Clippers.
Well done, Pat.
That I know of. But the Clippers received James Harden, PJ Tucker, and some player I'd never heard of, Philip Petrusev, who has also already been traded away after that, for Marcus Morris, Covington, Nick Batum, KJ Martin, 2028 unprotected first, 2 second-round picks, a 29 pick swap, an additional first-round pick from the Oklahoma City Thunder, who jump in and facilitate as the third team in that trade. Will, I know you and our guy Mark K broke down this trade wonderfully on yesterday's HQ episode, but Dave, because you and I were not on that show yesterday, just wanted to talk about it a bit more.
Sure.
I am just laughing at this. I don't know how you feel, Dave.
I knew you would be laughing at this, but go ahead. Finish.
I'm
up.
just saying I don't buy it. I cannot wait to watch the soap opera unfold, but like the championship odds and the winning the Western Conference Finals odds boost that the Clippers got from adding James Harden, I laugh at them. And maybe I'll be proven wrong when we get to playoff time, but I am laughing my ass off at them right now. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. I just don't. So you added another disgruntled vet who's often hurt and often doesn't come through in the playoffs to Kawhi and Paul George.
They're staying true to thetheir identity.
I mean, that's true. Hashtag continuity over there in Clipperland.
Fits right in.
It does make a lot of sense
Yeah.
in that respect. But I'm glad that the saga is over.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
this will be the last time we talk about it for a while.
True.
You got the trade you wanted. I guess like maybe you knocked the Sixers down a peg as far as the power rankings of the East and playoff competition in the East side of things, but I'm just laughing.
Well, one, I think the Sixers didn't do terribly either in this trade. I thought they came away
I think they
really
got
nicely.
decent value.
They really did.
All
man.
things considered.
So I still think they're a top 3 team in the East. And yeah, as long as you got the reigning MVP on your squad and Maxey, who's just balling out of control this season, they'll be fine. Like they added depth to their team. So good that they got Danny Green up out of there.
They replaced nothing
Yeah.
with Nick Batum, Robert Covington,
Correct.
and Marcus Morris.
Correct. Absolutely right. And some
And
picks.
picked up a couple picks on the way.
For the Clippers, I mean, it's LA, so the drama goes well out there in LA. James Harden, I agree with you as far as the playoffs are concerned. I mean, it hasn't proven. You know, he hasn't proven it in the playoffs yet. The regular season, I think they'll actually be good. James Harden, regardless of all of that, like James Harden was still like 23, 6 and 10 last year, shooting 40% from three. Like he still was damn good, leading the league in assists. Like, and they desperately needed a point guard on their team, one that actually wanted to facilitate. Because Russ, you know, Russ ain't about that life. You know, he got to have the ball all the time. So it's interesting to going to see. You got guys who are ball dominant, you know, in Harden and Russell, two different types of ball dominance, I would say. But it's going to be interesting. I just really find it really interesting how this is going to work. I do think it'll work in the regular season. I agree with you as far as the playoffs because, again, it hasn't been proven yet that they can go far. James Harden can go far in the playoffs without collapsing or getting hurt. Kawhi keeps getting hurt. Paul George keeps getting hurt. We'll put Russell Westbrook in there too. He's not a spring chicken anymore. So, but the drama I enjoy. I really, really like it. Was that you who put up the clip of the old Lakers?
Yes, that was me.
I thought that was brilliant.
The Karl Malone, Gary Payton Lakers.
I thought that was brilliant.
And then the meme of Tobias from Arrested Development saying, "But it might work for us."
Yes.
And so I saw somebody in the replies was like, "Sir, that Lakers team went to the finals." I was like, "Okay, cool.
What do you
Good
remember?
on you for remembering that."
Right.
Did they win the finals? No, they didn't.
I remember them getting their ass whooped in that finals.
Yeah.
That's what I remember them.
Yeah,
for.
they got
That
spanked.
gentleman sweep that they got out there. Really bad. But that was so funny. I'm just crediting you for that. That was
Thank you,
hilarious,
sir.
man. But they should be fun to watch in the regular season, Will.
Yeah, and you know, Mark and I, like I said, broke it down in more detail yesterday, but I thought it was kind of a win-win-win situation.
No
where
matter what.
The OKC.
Got money in my mind.
Thank you, Matt.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right, Will. Sorry,
I was just focused on what I was about to say. Which,
Go ahead, bro.
Which was basically that I think everybody came out in a good situation. OKC got a chance to improve the quality of one of their picks. Clippers, I mean, for all the jokes that Harden deserves, like he's a really good player still, and he's going to help them at the very least keep things afloat if one of the other guys gets hurt. Like now you at least have two of Harden, Kawhi, and PG on the court. That can only help you certainly during the regular season. And then Philly to just like wash their hands of the situation, be done with it, pick up some picks, and I think set themselves up to have as much cap space as possible. They also got rid of PJ Tucker in that deal, which opens up more space long term.
Yeah.
So they can either now go out and flip some of these assets into another star, or they can wait, play it out, see how they do until the trade deadline, or just throughout the season. They've got a lot more depth. They've got size. They've got shooting now. Do they want to just like let this ride and then make decisions next summer when they've got basically just Maxey and Embiid on their books?
Do you think Philly still is a top three in the East? Did it move them up or down to you?
I think they're still top three. I would say their fortunes haven't really changed all that much yet. I do think that it's going to be a little bit difficult to grade this trade for them until we know what they do with the remaining assets that they got. Because it reminds me a little bit of the Portland trade where they got Drew back for Damian Lillard, and then you like couldn't really make much of the trade until you know what they got for Drew. And at that point, it was like, okay, well, yeah, this looks pretty darn good for him. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a situation like that where we just kind of have to wait and see what happens. But ultimately, I think they're talented enough with Maxey, the way that he's playing this year, and Embiid, the MVP of the league, to kind of carry them through. I mean, we've talked a lot about like parity in the East. I think part of that is like no one team outside of the top two is really separating themselves.
True.
I also think it kind of just means like none of these teams are that great. And so when you have probably the best player of anybody you're ever going to be playing against, like you're in a good position to win.
And some of those other like top part of the middle pack East, we saw two of them go head to head on TNT last night, Cavs and Knicks. Cavs dealing with some early season injuries. Knicks, just sort of look mediocre out of the gate. Miami, slow start. Not anybody really surprised to see that. You got Jimmy Butler taking nights off for rest already, but yeah, he's great. All right, let's take our first quick break here pregame, and then we'll dive into this Bulls Mavs game we got on deck tonight. Speaking of which, I did see official starting lineup came from the Bulls. I saw somebody asking about it in the comments. Patrick Williams still in that starting lineup. For those of you who have been looking closely at whether or not Billy's going to make a shift, we'll talk about that. Also talk about that Patrick column that our guy Darnell Mayberry wrote for The Athletic. Anthony, I saw you asking about that in the comments as well. While we're sharing these words from our friends and sponsors, you know what to do. Bulls Nation, hit the thumb if you're watching along on YouTube. We greatly appreciate it. And make sure you are subscribed to our CHGO Sports YouTube channel to get alerts every time we go live. Big Dave.
I just like to subscribe, like pouncing.
Yeah.
Real nice. Matt Peck, what time is it?
Game time, who?
That man is always ready. Can't get him. He's a professional. Ty Rose.
Just screw the shit out of each other.
You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets to all your sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. You can get them all. Of course, they got that zone deal. Of course, as I mentioned, they got the views from the seat. Because you can't see them, because I need to see where I'm sitting at, man. I'm a big dude, all right? I need to see where I'm going to be, Match, all right? It is very important that I sit down and I know where I'm at so I can put my foot out, right foot, left foot, 1-2 step. Zone deals, easy to find tickets for every kind of event in your area, lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, and even job loss protection. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It is the place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsor deals on tickets for all your football, basketball, baseball, concert, comedy, theater, and much, much more. And with the Zone deals, you pick the section and Game Time picks the seats. An average of 18% savings is what you're going to get. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO. Get yourself $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, as Matt does, and redeem your code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guarantee. Because Joey Spathis, what time is it?
Game time. Who?
Prepared.
I was ready for that.
Yes, he was.
Our guy Mark K in the comments said, how long does Patrick Williams last in his first stint? I assume he'll guard Luka and be taken to the cleaners. We've seen Billy Donovan have a pretty wide range of early hook on Pat so far in these first 4 games, and then also riding him later into the first quarter of some of the others. Was it their win against Indiana where Pat played like the first 9 minutes or so of the first quarter?
He did.
As opposed to we've also seen Billy yank him after like 3 minutes.
And he deserved it in that Pacers game. He was aggressive and playing well. So, yeah, he deserved it.
So, as Anthony asked about in the comments, in case some of y'all didn't see it, our guy Darnell had a great one-on-one with Pat for The Athletic that came out this morning, talking a bit more about what some of you may have seen. I know we mentioned it on one of our shows recently, where the Caruso corner dagger 3 in the comeback against Toronto, you can see Patrick Williams just kind of disinterested and turning and walking away while the rest of the team celebrates and mobs Caruso. And because it seemed like something that Bulls fans were noticing and people were noticing, Darnell asked Pat about it. And so here is what Patrick had to say in case you missed it. He said, when I saw the video, I was like, damn, that looks bad. Terry Taylor was in that corner, so when Caruso made it, I looked at Terry like, scrunch his face, and I dapped him up, but he was in the corner. It did look bad. It was just the camera angle of it that makes it look bad. So, basically Pat's explanation was, I just walked over to the corner to see, to interact with Terry Taylor, who was in the corner, off camera, to sort of have our own moment of reacting to Caruso making that, but Patrick Williams reacting to something happening is him staring with the most apathetic blank-faced stare anyone has ever seen. So, to some degree, that makes sense, I guess.
Sure.
He also did clarify in those quotes in Darnell's column that he went out of his way to talk to Caruso about it and say, hey, man, it seems like this is getting some traction on social media. Terry Taylor showed it to me on the team bus the other day when we were leaving. And he said, I wanted to make sure that Caruso knows it didn't come from any standpoint of jealousy or anything like that, or that I was upset. We won the game. That's the biggest thing for me. Some people wondering, well, Caruso was out there. Caruso was the hero, and Caruso's one of the people stealing Patrick Williams' minutes right now. And not stealing, but just taking away because they are earning them more than Pat has earned his minutes.
This is true.
So I guess it's a good thing if you're a Bulls fan wondering what's going on with Pat through these first 4 games, that it wasn't anything negative or the green eyes of envy or anything like that, that it was just normal apathetic Pat. But at the same time, you can flip that on its head and be like, but should it have been? Yeah, I was pissed that I wasn't out there. And that's why I walked away. In some respects, that might give Bulls fans more hope that we're going to finally see the version of Pat that looks like he gives a damn on a nightly basis.
I don't know. I don't know if that's
agree
fair.
with that.
Like,
Yeah.
if you could say that no matter what his answer would have been. Like, you could say, well, the other side, I don't know. I think, if anything, it's like Pat is now starting to realize that there's like maybe a little bit more of a spotlight on him and his performance than he may have thought, and that you can't just like hide away from the spotlight. So hopefully his awareness of that kind of leads him to be a little bit more engaged. But again, I said this the other night. I understand the frustration with Pat. He has not played well, but it's an organizational problem. It's not like a Pat isn't doing his part situation. The Bulls need to find a way to keep him engaged and to bring him back from whatever this is, whether it's frustration about the lack of an extension, playing time, role, whatever it is. Like, they can't just hang him out to dry the same way. He shouldn't be acting this way. Like, they all need to do better to bring him back in and to put him in a situation where he can start to grow again, because right now it's absolutely stagnating. So I think if he would have said, yeah, I'm pissed because Caruso's closing in place of me, I think that would have represented a different problem. And I think you could probably pick at whatever he said, whichever direction it would have went. But I think the biggest thing for me is, like, we cannot lose Patrick. We cannot lose him. And they have to figure out a way. He has to work with them. They have to work with him. But they cannot lose Patrick right now.
You're saying mentally or physically?
Exactly.
Okay. I agree with that. I hear what Matt's saying, like, to show some kind of emotion. Let us know you, like you said, give a crap about actually being out there and show me that you actually care. But yeah, I'm glad he didn't say that. Man, that would have the fire.
Well, I mean, that would have created a different problem, which is like, okay, there's a locker room problem now.
Yeah, a real straight up issue.
We've already had one team meeting. Let's have another.
Billy, you can be in on this one. Come on in. But yeah, man, like I'm glad that he gave that explanation. It is very Patrick-like. It reminded me of the dunk in preseason. Who I can't remember the young man who did it, but they cut him. But
Quentin Jackson.
Quentin Jackson.
Right.
When he got that dunk in preseason, everybody went crazy, and Pat was the only one.
Right.
Just kind of standing there, just looking. And Kobe's trying to go over to him, be like, dude, like that. Pat's just like, okay.
And so that came up also in Darnell's column this morning. And Pat said he like apologized / explained himself to Quentin Jackson about that and was like, hey, no hard feelings. And Quentin was like, yeah, no, we know, man. Like, we know how you operate. We know what you do.
Yeah.
I didn't take it personally.
Okay.
It's just Pat being Pat.
Yeah.
So it's just funny that there are multiple examples of this now where it's like, yeah, this guy's just.
Yeah. You kind of want to see it one time. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of just want to see him like, one time. Or for anything. You know what I mean? I don't care what it is. Just once. Just to see it. You know what I mean?
Jamar in
just
training camp saying he wants Pat to get some texts this year.
Right, exactly. This is
why,
selfish.
like when Zach LaVine had that little like scuffle when they were rolling around with the potential jump ball situation in their game against the Pacers on Monday.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah. When Zach got pissed, I was like, yeah, get pissed, Zach.
Yes.
As our guy Callie would say, shout out Joe. This is a team full of choir boys.
Yes.
I need some people to get angry.
Yeah. He wants anger.
Shout out Rip Torn. You got to get mean. You got to get angry.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk Mavs. Bulls have Mavs on deck tonight. Kyrie Irving ruled out, left foot sprain. The Mavs, however, might not need it because they are cruising, and they were without him in their game the other night.
Yeah.
Luka Doncic, meanwhile, through their first 3 games, averaging 39 points on 55, 48, 70 shooting splits. So
good.
Something funky going on at the free throw line, but 55, 48, pretty darn good. 11.7 boards, 9.7 assists coming into this one. Dave, he's averaging 39 so far because I think somewhere in one of those three
a lot of points.
games he had 49.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
2 shy of Zach LaVine. In a blowout loss to the Pistons. But, Dave, you wanted to make note of and discuss for a minute the fact that throughout his NBA career thus far, Luka has not put up those kinds of numbers when he plays the Bulls.
Yeah, and it's been strange, but it's something I noticed kind of last year that I wanted to bring a little light on. But that's what Luka's averaging against the Chicago Bulls for his career.
Trash.
Of course, ridiculously trash numbers right there. But what stands out, obviously, is the 22 a game that he's averaging because, like you just mentioned, he's not averaging that this season. But not only is he averaging that, it's the lowest against any team in the NBA. And that's the Chicago Bulls. And also the 41% is the second lowest against any team in the NBA. Luka's last 3 games against the Bulls, field goal percentage-wise, 33, 34, and 36. And in that 36, when he was 0 of 5 from the three-point line, and then those last 3 games, he's 3 of 17 from the three-point line against the Chicago Bulls.
I feel like that's about to correct itself.
Yeah, it should. I've been waiting on it to happen. You know, when you play Luka, you're kind of wincing because you're waiting to get hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just know it's coming. And it hasn't come yet. Credit to the Bulls, for the way that they play him as well. But also give a little credit. I mean, I can't say give a little credit, but Luka's just been off in a lot of those games, man, because for him not to hit no threes and to shoot this poorly is a little surprising, man. But I don't know, Will, if it has something to do with him not being so athletically dynamic that they don't have to worry about those kind of things with Luka. He might be easier to be a one-on-one guy when you're defending him with guys like Caruso, throwing Io on him, throwing Pat on him, as you mentioned. Because you got Bulls have a bunch of defensive guards they can throw at Luka, and now you can throw Javon Carter at him. I mean, you shouldn't leave Javon Carter on him, man, because he's much bigger than him. But, yeah, man, it's just really interesting that it's happened this way. But I'm waiting for it to break out. I'm sure it might break out tonight. It might happen that way. But it's surprising. It was surprising to me that the Chicago Bulls are the team that he has struggled against.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder how much of that is just fluky bad night shooting. It's like only 3 games, so it's like
well, that's the last 3
or the last 3.
Yeah, those are the last 3. He's only shot 50% against the Bulls like once.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
I mean, I think part of it is just like the Bulls kind of got lucky with opponent 3-point shooting last year. Opponents did not shoot well against the Bulls. The degree of difficulty on his threes in particular is so absurdly high that like his 3-point percentage does not reflect how good a shooter he is. Just because he's taking incredibly difficult shots. He can get those shots off whenever he wants. So yeah, I mean, he's been shooting the lights out this year. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns around, but to me, it's like just too small of a sample to really make that much out of it.
Nicholas N in the comments saying Luka leading the Mavs in points, rebounds, and assists per game thus far. Crazy. I mean, he might end up doing that for the entire season. Speaking of which, Luka's complimentary role players tonight in the starting 5 will be Josh Green, Derek Jones Jr., our old pal, Derek Lively II, and Grant Williams, former Boston Celtic. So there's that Dallas starting 5 led by Luka. Damon Ice in the comments said, Big Dave just jinxed the Bulls. Ricky said, this ain't my first rodeo. Every time we mention stuff like this, it goes the other way. Luka redemption game incoming. We shall see. The last thing I did want to make note of, however, and I think this was from Shane Young on Twitter this morning. I don't know if you have that to pull up, Joe. Thank you.
I'm a professional.
This is half-court offenses thus far in the NBA season. And again, young season, small sample size. But our Bulls, for all the talk about changing this offense and trying to improve that 24th ranked offense from last season, we are the 28th ranked half-court offense so far.
25th offense overall.
25th offense overall, 28th half-court. Worse than only that Raptors team that we had the miracle comeback against and only managed to have a miracle comeback against because the Raptors would have field goal droughts longer than – I don't know, whatever's long. And then I think Portland was the only other team that has a worse half-court offensive rating than the Bulls through this first week and a half or so of the season. The Mavericks, meanwhile, in case you didn't notice on that graph, the best half-court offensive rating so far in the NBA. Luka Doncic just out there doing Luka
He's
things.
a monster.
With or without Kyrie, doesn't matter. The Mavericks have the best half-court offense in the NBA. We have the third worst.
Want to get some love
I'm
to Jason Kidd?
scared.
And you know what that all adds up to tonight?
What's that, Joey?
Zach LaVine first basket plus
There it
850.
is.
Wow.
Put
There
put
is.
your life savings on it.
Life
Your
savings.
life savings on it?
Not that much, but
Don't do
put
that, kids.
something. Put a nice chunk of change on there. All right.
Ooh.
Also, I've got another thing I have cooking up tonight. I'll share. Usually don't do this. Parlayed it. Same game parlay. Bulls money line, and then getting plus money for the Bulls money line. Also getting plus money for Patrick Williams to score 8 points.
Wow.
Bulls win. Patrick Williams 8 points plus 425 on DraftKings. We're all eating. We're all getting rich together. And I will see you in the Cayman Islands. Thank you.
All right. Well, if that hits, Joey's buying dinner on Friday. But
Portillo's.
I don't know. 8 points for Pat is a mountain to climb.
He's got to get there sometime.
He's got to get there sometime. It
the
is
kid 9 last
a
game.
few minutes past 7:30 Chicago time. That means tip-off is right around the corner, so we will get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us for pregame. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out if you didn't do so before. We will be back for postgame immediately following this one. Let's get a dub, shall we?
Why not?
Would be nice. Would be the first time, by the way, since November 2nd of 22. The Bulls are above 500. Like a year to the day. Let's see if they can do it. For Joey, Will the GOAT, Big Dave, I'm Pack. Thanks for watching pregame. We'll see you for postgame. Tip off. See you, Red. Be good.
Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.